Having spent some time talking to ramen chefs in Tokyo, there are generally 4 styles of ramen. I'm in Tokyo, let's go eat some ramen. Like chicken rice stores in Singapore, it's practically impossible to find bad ramen stores in Tokyo. That's because the competition is so great. Ramen made its way to Japan in the 19th century, gaining popularity as a street food. And over time, various regional styles began to emerge. Let's go and look for the 4 styles of ramen, which are the tonkotsu, sho or salt, shoyu or soy sauce, and the miso ramen. We arrived at our first ramen place, Ichiran Shibuya Ramen, for our first style of ramen, the tonkotsu ramen. And we promptly found out that we have to wait at least 60 minutes in the freezing cold. But we got in line anyway. And the line starts from here. And it goes on and on and on and on. So what do you do when you're in the cold for 60 minutes while waiting for your ramen? You go buy something to eat from Family Mart. Family Mart had a lot of small little snacks that will tie you over while you wait in the freezing cold. You can customize your ramen by choosing how rich you want the broth to be, how much chili and green onions you want to add to it, and the type of sides you would like to go with your ramen. I'm just wondering if this is a hard or a soft boiled egg. Let's see. It's an onsen egg. Let's do it the quicker way. The tonkotsu style of ramen comes from Fukuoka, where they rear very high quality pigs. And they boil pork bones for many hours to make this rich broth. It's thick, it's creamy, and it's wonderful. Get some more. The next day, we headed off to our second destination, Club Med Sohoro in Hokkaido. This is where I had a pretty bad fall, and you'll see it in my face later. But my wife and kid were too busy being tourists. Anyway, back to the ramen. In Club Med, all meals are provided. This is where I have my second style of ramen, the Sho ramen or salt ramen. Japan has a vast coastline with plenty of fresh seafood. And what better way to show off their freshness than to season it with just a little bit of salt, and in this case, salt in the broth. Great chicken broth, lightly seasoned with salt. It really brings out the flavors of the rest of the ingredients. This is why you usually find seafood ingredients in Sho ramen. They don't have seafood here, but they got lots of char siu. I was told that the food hall in the new Chitose airport is pretty good. Let's go grab some ramen there. We arrived in the late afternoon. Unfortunately, most of the stores were still closed. So, for the next two styles of ramen, I went back home and picked a random ramen store that's close to where I live. So here's the random ramen store in Ang-Mo-Kio Central. Shoyu ramen or soy sauce ramen. Notice how ramen sounds like ramen, and they are made about the same way as well. When the Chinese introduced ramen into Japan, they also introduced soy sauce. So the addition of soy sauce into the ramen gave birth to shoyu ramen. The char siu is so tender, and when I pick it up, it's just falling apart. They must have cooked this for a very, very long time. And lastly, we have miso ramen. Hokkaido's colder climate influenced the creation of a more hearty and more tastier broth. And to make the broth more hearty and more tasty, they added miso into the broth. This resulted in a more richer and flavorful profile. Usually served with corn, char siu, egg, and butter, this rather heavy dish will fill you up in the colder months. It's actually pretty difficult to look for a certain style of ramen. Most menus will give you generic names like chicken ramen, beef ramen, or char siu with corn ramen. Reading the description would help sometimes. Our culture and traditions are reflected in the type of food we eat and the style in which we cook them. And the humble bowl of ramen is a great example of this. The migration of people, trade, and the availability of local ingredients influence our preferences, our way of life, and our culture. Food is also a reflection of our future. In ramen's case, vegan and halal ramen versions are getting a lot more popular. And all these factors are distilled into this little bowl of noodles. To understand a country's history and traditions, look no further than what the locals eat. I wish I had more time to explore Tokyo, but I'll certainly be back. If you have made it this far, thank you for sticking with me till the end. And thank you for your encouragement. I'll see you in my next video.